ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We are reading from the book Pramana Vicara, an inquiry into the nature of knowledge by Swami Dayananda Saraswati. We are about to begin a section called Upanishad is in the form of a dialogue. The Upanishad is always in the form of a dialogue. More often than not, you will find names of the people involved in the dialogue. Shvetaketu, the son, and Uddalaka, his father, Bhrigu, the son, and Varuna, his father, Pipalada and his 6 students, Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi, Yajnavalkya and Janaka are some examples. The Upanishad is not an abstract subject matter to be philosophized about. This is a dialogue between real people with a genuine desire to gain this knowledge. People burn their boats to have this knowledge, knowing that this is the knowledge that will give them moksha. The Upanishad is not a philosophy or a school of thought or anything like that. Philosophy as a word is a good word. It is love for knowledge. But this is much more than that. What we are dealing with here is a committed pursuit for the sake of moksha, and moksha happens to be in the form of knowledge. Therefore, the desire for moksha, mukshutvam, is converted into the desire to know, jignyasa. Because there is a desire to know, you require a means of knowledge. The means of knowledge is the Upanishad. Vedanto nama Upanishad pramanam. Vedanto nama Upanishad pramanam. The Guru has to show you, reveal to you the words of the Upanishad. Yajnavalkya tells his wife, Maitreyi, Atma va are drishtavyah. Atma va are drishtavyah. He addresses his wife lovingly as Are. Yajnavalkya decides to leave the house, renouncing his family to have a life of contemplation. He gives away his cattle and other wealth to his 2 wives, Maitreyi and Katyayani. Maitreyi asks him, if you were to give me the entire earth with all its wealth, will I gain amritatvam? Will I gain the moksha, the freedom that you are going to get by contemplation? Yajnavalkya tells this truth. Amritatvasya vittena na asha asti. Amritatvena vittena na asha asti. Wealth will not give you moksha. There is no hope of gaining amritatvam, immortality, through wealth. What gives you moksha is the knowledge of what you love the most. He further continues that what you love the most is not wealth. Even the person who loves wealth does not love it unless it is connected to him. You must have a sense of ownership. Otherwise, a bank cashier would be the happiest person because every day he deals with millions. But he is not happy because it is not his money, like a spoon which does not taste anything. Therefore, your love for wealth is not for the sake of wealth, but it is for your own sake. Atmanastu kamaya vittam priyam bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya vittam priyam bhavati. That vittam, the wealth, becomes beloved to you, very important to you, because you see yourself as secure and happy through wealth. Therefore, what you love is the pleased self, and you love wealth because it invokes in you the pleased self. You love nature in its beauty, for nature does not evoke the wanting you, the complaining you. You saw the same mountain green and verdurous some years ago. It was inspiring. It evoked the pleased self in you. You see the same mountain today, denuded, bald, with all the quarrying that has taken place. You feel sad. Your heart begins to bleed seeing that. Now the mountain does not evoke the pleased self. Instead, it evokes the angry self, frustrated self, displeased self. You do not like that. So it is always the pleased self that you love. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Everything that you love is for the sake of the self. Every other love is only transferred love. This is the significant thesis of Yajnavalkya. He reveals the truth about life as an introduction. He says, really, you love the self alone because it is the source of ananda and that is you. Therefore, Atma va are drishtavyah. Atma has to be seen by you. The nature of Atma has to be shown to you. It has to be understood. There is no belief involved. If I say I believe Atma is Satchidananda, it has no meaning. It has some kind of basis for seeking, that's all. It has to be understood. There is always handling of the words and sentences involved. A guru must be there. The guru may be one's own father. Atma is always manifest. Nitya aparoksha, self-evident. This has to be revealed by words, and there is a method of handling these words. Therefore, a guru is required. Gurumeva abhigachet. One has to definitely approach a teacher. Thus, it is in the form of a dialogue between the teacher and student. Being in the form of a dialogue, there are questions and answers. There are questions because the subject matter is to be understood, not simply swallowed. It is too big to swallow. It is infinite. So you must have infinite mouth and infinite stomach. It is a thing to be understood. So there is teacher-student dialogue. There will be questions because what is to be gained has to be examined minutely so that it becomes ascertained knowledge. The Upanishad means Nishchaya Jnanam, ascertained knowledge. You have to examine that knowledge methodically and see whether it can stand inquiry. Even if you do not have any doubts or questions yourself, the very teaching sampradaya deliberately raises many questions and doubts and then addresses them. It is not just simply asking questions and voicing vexing doubts. Deliberate doubts are raised with certain vikalpas, alternatives, giving other meanings to the Upanishad sentences. You are able to see how others may think and what the fallacies in such thinking are, and that these alternatives are not tenable. The Sampradaya is thorough and eliminates all other possible meanings, giving rise to Nishchaya Jnanam. This is the traditional methodology of teaching Vedanta. The subject matter is Upanishad and the name of the book is also Upanishad. For example, a book on world history may be titled World History. The book is not world history, but because the subject matter is world history, the book is also called World History. The title of the book is the subject matter of the book. In the same way, the book is called the Upanishad because its subject matter is Upanishad, Brahma Vidya, self-knowledge for which the Pramanam is the Upanishad itself. Next section, certain modern thinking traps. I've heard some people say, as it is a study of myself, the subjective scientist dives deep within and then finds out. You can tell them the one who dives deep within is the one who does not know that he or she is Brahman, whereas everything that exists is Brahman. You are seeing me, this experience is Brahman. Time itself is Brahman. Space is Brahman. Brahman is non-dual. The subject-object is non-dual, infinite Brahman and not subject to time. All that you experience is Brahman. When that is so, do you have to go anywhere down below or up above? There is no need for words like you have to drink deep at the spring of nectar, diving deep within. These are meaningless words. It is not even poetry. All that you have to do is to understand this fact. You sometimes hear another argument. After all, the rishis who unfolded, revealed Brahman also had a mind. They were subjective scientists as opposed to an objective scientist like a physicist. This argument also will not hold water. Both subject and object are Brahman. Where is the question of subjective scientists? Subject is Brahman, object is Brahman. This is non-dual. You cannot use the word non-dual and then talk of subjective or objective. Whatever you objectify is Brahman, and the one who objectifies is Brahman. What denies you the understanding is lack of knowledge. This lack of knowledge is because there is no pramanam. If there is no clear understanding of the importance of pramanam with reference to this knowledge, one is always likely to fall into the trap of flowery words and poetic sentences. Next section, Tattvam Asi, the equation. The ultimate teaching of the Upanishad is the Jiveshwara Aikyam, or the oneness of the Jiva and Ishvara revealed by the Mahavakyas like Tattvam Asi. The Pramana Vicara, the subject matter of Vedanta Pramanam or the Upanishad, is Brahman, the Jagat Karanam, the cause of the entire universe. That Jagat Karanam Brahma Tvamasi, Tattvamasi, you are that. This is an equation between Brahman, the Jagat Karanam, the cause of this entire Jagat, and Jiva, the individual. Jagat includes all that is here, known and unknown. If there are lokas, other spheres of life, all of them are Jagat. It also includes your body, mind, sense complex. This, the Karanam, the cause of the entire Jagat is Brahman. And that Brahman, Tamasi, you are that Brahman. This is not clearly understood in the so-called modern Vedanta. Even in the tradition there are contentions. Some traditional acharyas who are Vaidikas, who accept the Vedas Pramanam, also have contentions. They say that Jagat Karanam Brahma is Jagat Karanam Brahma, not Tattvamasi, but Atatttvamasi. In fact, Madhavacharya says, Sa Atma Atatttvamasi. So this is a footnote here, because the Upanishad sentence is Sa Atma Tattvamasi, which lends to breaking it as Sa Atma Atatttvamasi. He seems to have taken it this way. According to him, Shastra says you are not that. This is not correct. Why should Shastra make a statement like that? Everyone already knows that I am not that. Shastra need not tell you what you already know. Some people interpret Tattvamasi as Tasya Tvamasi. You belong to that Jagat Karanam Brahma. There is nothing other than Brahman, but you are only a part of it, an Amsha. You have Amsha Amshi Bhava, a part in the whole relationship with Brahman. Just as Taranga Samudra, the wave belongs to the ocean, na Samudra, but it is not the ocean. However, the Upanishad Pramanam is very clear. There is only Brahman, the cause of the world. There is nothing other than Brahman. It is Advayam with no second entity, and that Advayam Brahma is you. No other meaning is possible. To arrive at any other meaning, you have to twist everything, contort everything. The equation Tattvamasi, you are that Brahman, has two sides. Tat, Ishvara, and Tvam, you. And they are one. Unless you bring Ishvara, there is no equation. Unless the equation is understood, there is no Advaita. The apparent differences between the two sides of the equation, between Ishvara and Jiva, must be understood as Mithya. Footnote here, Mithya is defined as Sad Asadbhyam Anarvachaniyam. Sad Asadbhyam Anarvachaniyam. That which cannot be categorically classified, either as Sat, Satyam, existing in all three periods of time, or as Asat, non-existent. What is Mithya is dropped. What remains then is one Advayam truth. In spite of the apparent differences, Vedanta Shastra reveals the oneness of Ishvara and Jiva. This is not easy to understand without understanding Ishvara. And to understand Ishvara, Vedanta Shastra is the only available Pramanam. Nyayikas, a group of logicians, claim Ishvara can be established by logic. Sakartrakam karyam, every product must have a maker. A pot implies a pot maker. When you see a pot, you appreciate the existence of a maker. Similarly, a prasada and mansion implies a karta. In the same way, when you see the jagat, it is clear that it is put together, assembled, and therefore it is a karyam for which there must be a karta, a creator. The problem with such examples is that they are all within the jagat. Being within the jagat, the mansion is not a correct example to cite for proving that the jagat has a creator. It is not possible to give an example. Further, how do we know jagat is a karyam? Someone else may say the jagat was always there. Even if you were to accept the example, how do we establish that there is only one karta? Idam jagat vaichitrya chitrikritam. Idam jagat vaichitrya chitrikritam. The world consists of a variety of things. Even in the creation of a mansion, there are several people involved: carpenters, masons, their supervisors and assistants, and the architects, structural engineers, etc. So too in the creation of this jagat, there must be many creators. How can you say there is only one karta? You cannot establish that the creator is only one. Logic has no vyavastha, no definite end. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, from which the creation of the jagat comes about. Yena jatani jivanti, by which all that is born is sustained. Tat prayanti abhisam vishanti, tat prayanti abhisam vishanti, and unto which everything resolves, is presented as the lakshanam of Brahman. This definition of Brahman as the cause of everything is called tatastha lakshanam. Tatastha lakshanam. For a clear understanding of tatastha and swarupa lakshanam, one has to study Vedanta in detail. This has to be understood clearly. Brahma Sutra, which analyzes the knowledge of the Shastra, in the first sutra, Athato Brahma Jignasa, raises the question of the desire to know, the enquiry into Brahman. Since there is a desire to know Brahman, the sutra gives the lakshana of Brahman in the next verse. Janmadi asya yataha. Janmadi asya yataha. Both these draw from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Vijignyasava in the Taittiriya Upanishad is presented as Brahma Jignasa, and the word yato from the Upanishad is used in the second sutra as yataha. That from which this jagat has come, which sustains the jagat and to which the jagat resolves, is Brahman. This is the only lakshanam of Brahman. The words yataha, yena and yat, from which, by which and into which in the Upanishad's Vakya, are all represented by the word yataha in this sutra. The suffix that is used here, tasil pratyaya, has this versatility. The lakshana of Brahman presented as Jagat Karanam is Ishvara. That Brahman, thou art, you are. There is no other way of proving your being Jagat Karanam. There is no other pramanam available. Without the Shastra, one cannot make the statement, the Jagat Karanam Brahma is I. Only Shruti Pramanam can tell you that. That is the truth, the vision of the Shastra. Bring a Pramanam, it does not require another Pramanam to corroborate. It is Swatah Pramanam. You see me, you hear me. Seeing is not contradicted by hearing, and hearing is not contradicted by seeing. The eyes do not have to collaborate with the eye, ears do not have to collaborate with the eyes to prove the seeing. Eyes see, ears hear. Each Pramanam is a proof by itself. Swatah Pramanam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.